all the cool kids.
Because you have to do it.
Right.
You got the banking rates.
So maybe the biggest pro of being a business in Australia now is the fact that
You've got to be back.
you've got to do things so right.
Japan,
yeah.
Apparently Japan rates are pretty good too. Like
Off the mountain, guys.
yeah,
One sec,
maybe.
guys. One sec.
They good?
No, it's
At least he apologized.
We're just chatting.
That's all I
We're
say.
just chit chatting.
well, yeah.
Hey guys, so now we're still sort of ready to start the podcast, so we're just going to chit chat amongst ourselves and just wait for
Wait for some people to jump on. Yeah. Cracking some jokes behind the scenes. But you guys are all over it now, so that's how it goes. Like I said, at least he said sorry. You know, he admitted there was an issue.
Yeah.
That's the first step in recovery.
When does anger come into it?
What?
There's many stages that we need to get through, and we can definitely go through that.
Yeah.
Have you brought your psychology book with you today?
The Wall Street.
It's a big turnaround from I've got all the money, everything's fine to oh shit, sorry. Like in what 24 hours on it?
I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and it was like, on Sunday, FTX were cool.
What day is today?
It was
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what it is.
So until CZ's tweet that said I've got $550 million worth of FTX token that I'm gonna dump on the market eventually.
Yeah.
In a regulated market that wouldn't have been allowed, or that won't be allowed when we get regulations. So, I mean, if you think about it from a traditional finance, with the traditional finance lens on, like, what would be the equivalent of it? Have we ever seen an equivalent of it in traditional finance?
I was talking about it like it was nowhere near the same scale, but it was like Elon saying on Twitter that his the price of his stock was
With Tesla
too high or something. And
you got a slap on the wrist for that, don't you?
I think
Yeah.
he like was restricted in his capabilities on the board.
Yeah,
and
but I
stuff.
don't know if that was like that time had expired or it just got reversed or he just said, oh, stuff you on, I'll just do it anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do remember there was a big hoo-ha on the news about, you did get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the lasting effects of it are.
We dedicated the last podcast to Doge and Elon's
Call it Doge Watch
Doge Watch
2022.
22.
That was when it was up.
I think
140.
Yeah, well, it's back now, isn't it? It's like,
Actually, where is
it's back,
it now?
it's back to 8 cents. I think.
8 or 9 cents. Yeah.
It's still up from
Eight
when
and a half.
started.
So it's up 7% the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
We're rich again.
Down 40, up 7.
Yeah. It's that meme, with the guy and like in the bottom right hand corner, it's got the green arrow going.
Yeah.
Just 1%.
Surely there's a bite dip moment in there somewhere, right?
Yeah.
I think
I think there's definitely a bite dip somewhere. I mean, even in the past 24 hours, there's been at least double-digit pumps across everything.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Whether that's the state, like.
Well, look, like end of day yesterday was like 30% down most things, unless you were salami, we're down 50-60%.
Yeah. But then the next morning it was like up 30%, and
Well,
everything else was only up 10 or 12. So that's the thing about it. You don't want to be the main character, like person or coin, because you get hammered on the way down, but then the revenge arc on the way up, and then yeah.
Short squeeze central. Right?
Well, it is, isn't it?
Well, that was like the other thing coming out of like, I know we haven't started digging into it, but like it was, I guess, suspected that Alameda Research was like shorting tether to try and pump the perpetual prices of the primary pair, so it would create like short squeezes,
right.
like artificially.
Yeah.
So like because they were holding Sol, they were potentially short squeezing like a bunch of shorts. Like that was interesting if that, because USDT did decay during that period. I know we're getting real deep into this now. But,
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Or the meme where El Salvador was supposed to be holding the Bitcoin on.
They've got it.
That got some engagement. That was a good meme.
That was decent. That got me. That one got me at the time.
But even if that was true, he's got a volcano running miners. So, like, whether that factory or not is that actually been completed yet?
I don't know.
Probably not. But,
Bit of a should be right. Should be right, mate.
I think as a dictator he'll be fine.
Yeah, he's secured. He's secured his dictator status.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, he'll be alright.
Yeah, sure.
Have a look in. We're good to go.
Well, we're on.
Sweet guys. Well, welcome to the inaugural live tapping into crypto catch up. We're on the couch. We've got the boys. We've got a special guest, Mr. Trader Travis, Mr. Travis Dobie.
What's up? How you going?
Some of you might remember this friendly face from the Australian Crypto Convention if you could visit at the time. For those who haven't, you'll get to know Trav quite well.
I don't know.
Yeah, stick around. Get to know me.
Yeah, he's already starting to annoy me.
I'm going to be the unfortunate granddad in the room and start this little baby off with a bit of a disclaimer. So I just want to start off
Maybe
with
my beer while you're reading that.
Mate, see if you can drink the whole
So the
time
first
reading the
disclaimer is I'm
disclaimer.
over 18. So I can do
Yeah,
this.
absolutely. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the opinions of this podcast belong to individuals that are not affiliated with any companies mentioned. Any advice is general in nature and does not take into account your personal situation. If you're looking for advice, seek out the help of a licensed financial advisor.
Excellent.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Felt good.
You did?
Yeah, it's felt good.
So now you can just like make it up from
Yeah,
now on?
this is it.
Is that how it works?
That's it. That's how this works.
Okay.
Good for you, Beth. Good for you.
So I guess.
That was keen in the housekeeping.
Well, the housekeeping, you got to keep it good.
You gotta keep the floor clean.
You got to make the bed. You
That's
know,
right. Every morning.
sometimes you don't make breakfast, but you just make the bed.
You got a bed? Because some people were sleeping on like beanbags and stuff.
Where?
Oh.
You've been
Come on,
walking
keep
around
up.
you've been walking around the office a
Keep
bit
up.
today, have you?
No. I'm speaking of one quite unhealthy vegan.
Oh, I see where this is going. Very good segue.
Yeah, she liked that.
Oh no. Oh, I think I know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
now you know it's
Right, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
That's like totally sustainable. That's eat cucumbers, sleep on beanbags, and then run an empire.
Yeah.
No. And what, Adderall and whatever.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
And not me.
Allegedly.
Not me.
Yeah.
Vegan.
No, vegan, no, yeah, but the Adderall.
Vegan belly.
No, he's definitely eating cucumbers.
So just to, I guess, remove this nonsense, essentially we're here to, I guess, primarily break down what happened with the whole FTX saga. There's a lot been happening, especially in the last, even 72, 48, 24, in the last 8 hours.
Like 5 minutes.
5 minutes, things just keep changing.
Like even in the last 5 minutes, we've had the AFR report that FTX Australia is going into administration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing now.
Oh, it's a thing.
Also, most recently, BlockFi, they came out 2 days ago saying that products are fully operational and that they weren't associated with FTX.com, but more FTX US. They recently just put out an email saying withdrawals are now offline. So, I mean, that kind of shows the turn of events that we're just seeing across the board.
How many times have we seen that over the last 6 months?
Yeah.
Like, company comes out, Terra Luna comes out, Celsius come out.
Yeah.
It's almost the signal.
Yeah,
it's almost the signal
it was
in the
eerie.
complete opposite
I
direction.
got that itch in the back of my neck when Sam said that everything's fine. I go, ooh, that sounds like.
How do you actually tell people that things are fine when they actually are fine now? You got to tell them we're fucked, or do something. Like
yeah,
that.
well,
or you got to say, hey, we're screwed, and people are like, he's probably joking. Like they're probably fine. Like how do you even? You know what I mean? Like it's this mentality of that people have now. It's like you've got no idea what direction. Like comms really don't mean what they should.
You talk about trust there, Tony. The trust has been broken with the crypto community.
It has.
Yeah.
It has.
Yeah.
Definitely has. Yeah. Yet we're still here today packaging it up for people. So you know what does that say?
I think there's lots to still unpack. There's a lot of things that people just haven't had the time to catch up on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just moves so far, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does. It
It's
does.
like that CZ tweet was 4 days ago.
Yeah, let's
When he said that
yeah.
he was going to...
So let's rewind it. So this is kind of where it all started, I guess, for
Yeah.
people that I guess want to sort of dive into this from a start to finish. So
It seemed longer than that,
yeah,
to be honest. It's only been 4 days.
it has.
It's
yeah.
been a month and a week.
Oh, yeah.
A month and 1 week.
Today's been a long week.
Today's been a long week.
Yeah.
Might use that again. That's good.
You like that one?
Yeah, it's good. That's good.
Yeah, alright.
Where did
I'll watch it down.
Where did it all
and
start?
use it.
Where did it all start? Do you want to kick us off on where it started, Trev?
Oh, gee. Well, even before that, so I guess where it started was the Coinbase article about the info about the balance sheet of what they had,
Yeah.
raising concerns, and then after that, CZ's come out and said, well, I'm paraphrasing obviously, things aren't good. We've already exited our investment in FTX, but that was a cash thing, not a
Yeah.
token thing.
Yeah.
We've still got all this FTT. We're going to unwind it, over several months, so
Yeah.
we don't upset the market.
Yeah. Pretty responsible. right?
that's responsible.
Yeah.
OTC.
That's my first gripe, right? If you're going to do that anyway,
Yeah.
wouldn't you just do that and then come out later and say,
Yes, you would.
I've done it? Especially if you are like the CEO of maybe like the biggest exchange ever with
Yeah.
all this liquidity. Don't
Yeah.
you think you would do that?
Yeah, it's
I might be cynical.
again, and we mentioned here on the intro to the podcast as well. Like in a regulated market, you can't get away with that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's really why can that be done without recourse? Because we're in an unregulated
Yeah.
market. So
So anyway, so he's done that, and then fair call, because if there is no laws, he's like, well, I'm going to do it anyway because all fair in war and whatever. So he's come out and he said he's going to do that, and then Caroline, who is, if you're not aware, is the CEO or was the CEO of Alameda,
Yeah.
and she says she does the Sam meme and says, I'll buy all your FTT at $22 and then go F off. So she puts that line in the sand, but then. And if you look on the chart, that's basically where the support line is for all of that. But that again raises weird things to me anyway, because if you also run an exchange or you're a market maker, and somebody is telling you, they're telegraphing to you, I'm going to dump $500 million of this token which you just so happen to control.
yeah,
What would you do? Would you try and buy it at the level, or would you just let them dump it, hedge short, and then you then hedge and maybe even go in harder and then profit from it? If you're in DeFi and you've got loans against your FTT,
Yeah.
take the profits and then gradually, save yourself from the loan from getting liquidated. So I'm going, this is red flag then.
So what you're saying is steps could have been taken even after the fact.
Or even
Where
during the fact.
During and after the
During
fact.
the fact, but the reason why I don't think that they did, because what's coming out now is that the hole was much bigger
Yeah.
than that 500, mil of FTT, right?
Yeah. So I guess
You would have to leverage to the tits
yeah.
just to fill the hole, like assuming that he was selling, and maybe he wasn't, right? Maybe it was just CZ's putting it out there saying, I've got $500 million worth of FTT.
Do you reckon they just sold it?
I'm going to dump it, and everyone's going, let's front run CZ.
Imagine if he still has it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
doubt it.
No,
See,
I'm sure.
where's-
No.
Yeah,
He's a smart man.
If he's got it,
If anything, he would have sold it and then done the message and say we're going to do it. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, well,
let's get that on, all right?
got a good price, or
Yeah.
he hedged himself
Yeah.
anyway.
Correct.
Price was locked in.
Yeah, so because they're both running centralized exchanges against each other.
Pretty much.
So they can obfuscate all of it.
Yeah.
So for me what was quite notable was obviously the CZ tweet that said we're going to sell all this FTT token down over a period of time. We're going to do it responsibly. Yada yada. What way we heard. The next thing was obviously SPF's reaction to that tweet,
Yeah.
where it was like, all right, game on. We're in a bit of a battle here. That was the next step for me was like it seemed like it was a butting of heads between CZ and SPF.
Yeah.
So, which obviously, SPF got schooled pretty quickly on that one. But again, it was like that was the next step for me. How do you guys see that played out? What was the moment where SPF kind of, I suppose, he knew the things were, he picked the wrong enemy, if you
There
want
was
to call
that.
it
There was that tweet. It literally looked like he said, "Thank you so much for CZ for helping us, like potentially did you see that?
It was the next.
Yeah, it was the next
morning
day.
or something
It was
like
literally the next morning.
after the initial sell-off.
Yeah.
It was a mental tweet. It was like something someone with a gun to the head would say. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it felt like when I was reading it, at least.
Yeah, like the day after, like the
Wasn't
day
a gun,
after.
it was a
The day
knife.
before he said,
Yeah.
we've got one-to-one backing of all our user funds, and
Yeah.
we don't use the user funds for other things. And
Oh yeah, they said BNB's never been collateralized, which was so.
oh yeah, CC said that. But
So
then-
just to cover that too for everyone too, like the whole thing here is that the FTT token they were borrowing against it, essentially, which is a pretty common practice when you
yeah,
talk DeFi,
yeah,
right?
I mean, well, that was the early story, but then
Yeah.
it's come out
Was used-
later that
yeah.
they're using they're using FTX funds to cover holes in Alameda.
Yeah.
So whether he was trying to, whether like he knew about it, so let's try and cause a bank run, or at least try and just see what happens with the
Poke the
FTT.
bear and see what happens.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he saw the CoinDesk article, or whether he probably already knew.
They definitely would know, right?
So
Yeah.
he probably already knew. But then CoinDesk has come out with the article, so now he's free to talk about it,
Yeah.
right? So he's not the instigator in that sense.
So is it kill the competition? Is it a kill the competition play, or is it just expose a bad player in an industry? Like what? Like how do you see that one?
Yeah, I guess it depends on who you are, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
Because both are valid, right?
You are you.
Both are, pardon?
You are you.
Yeah, yes, you are you. I think ultimately, though, because I've had so many other opinions. Because it could be like, if they did nothing, FTX being the cash cow that it was, it's just printing money left over, hand over foot, right? So
Yeah.
eventually they would have made enough profit. They didn't do anything else stupid, which probably they would have. But
Yeah.
let's say that they didn't. They would have filled the hole anyway, and then everything would have been fine. But yeah, it's.
Is it just me that's thinking about that meme where the guy's taking is it a meme or a video where the guy's just like bailing water out of a boat, but then someone else is putting more holes in it?
Yeah,
Just keep thinking about that.
It is.
Yeah.
It is odd because you do like it was the third biggest exchange going in terms of activity or whatever. So they're making. I think I heard like Kobe was doing some sort of estimation on their daily profits just based on
Oh really?
trading.
Yeah.
Because the
You got
fees
the
is per
volumes.
trade.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
10 mil a day or something.
Yeah. Well, they actually someone came out and said that last year alone they did $1 billion in revenue.
But 10 million
Yeah.
per day
Oh,
they're getting in
before.
terms of.
Got it, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So if you were going to invest 250 mil in didn't they do that in Voyager or something
Yeah.
recently? You just got to wait 25 days
Yeah.
and just take the
You
profit.
pay it back, yeah.
And then there you go, and go and invest it. Why would you, right? Why would you go and take use of fund? That doesn't make sense. So I'm going, it's got to be something else.
Yep.
So, it's starting to come out now that they got hurt in Luna and the 3AC thing,
Yep.
and that's
Yep.
where the initial hole has come.
Right.
But then you would go, at least me, I would go, well, okay, Alameda stuffed up, that's it, fine. But
Yep.
FTX is still cool.
Yep.
FTX is still making money. If we wanted to, we could start Alameda version 2 in a year or 2 years because
Yep.
FTX is still.
Yeah, just to break that up, the Alameda arm is
Yeah.
basically their trading arm. It's a separate entity.
Yeah, the market making
Yeah, it's
arm.
the market makers.
Well, yeah, I guess it's,
They're the ones that run your stops.
yeah, is it?
Yeah.
they trade against you.
Yeah.
They might be separate on paper, but they're the same.
Yeah.
They're the
Yeah,
same.
they're all the
I mean,
same.
it's all come out now. They're all the same. It was like
Yeah.
an open secret anyway. I think for ages.
So that's interesting, I guess, for people that didn't know, and there's some of this I'm learning right now as well. It's like
Right.
part of the exposure to Luna, like maybe Celsius, 3 Hours Capital, these things are a big reason why we're in this situation.
Yeah,
big
because
part of the reason why we're
that
in
was
this
that was a recent thing. It's not verified yet, but there was a tweet that came out and said, Galaxy Digital was the second biggest potential exposed entity out there, which is what you're just talking
Yeah,
about.
Mike Novogratz and
Mike Novogratz
company.
Yeah, who
And
was,
they had decent exposure to Luna as well, right?
yeah, yeah, correct. So
Double whammy, Mike. Not ideal. Yeah.
Yeah.
what a year.
What a year. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but imagine coming out of the shower every morning and being reminded.
Oh, because he had a
Yeah,
He's got the tattoo.
he's got that tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Brutal. But yeah, on that same topic, some other notable ones that were top of that list was KuCoin, which actually we were talking about most recently. So that is not verified in terms of how much exposure, but it's listed. Voyager we talked about. Stargate STG, it's another one. And a couple of other just little bits and pieces.
Genesis Trading has also got 175 million locked in FTX. Oh. That came out 6 hours ago on a tweet.
Was that directly from them?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, right.
So if you want to fact check what I'm saying, and you should, don't trust anybody.
Don't trust verify.
No, yes, correct. Go to Genesis, or at Genesis Trading, all one word. So that was 175 million.
That's a decent haul for any company to absorb. Yeah, like realistically, it's not. So I guess just to bring it back again to the story, CZ, SBF, butting heads, publicly butting heads, SBF going against them. The next day, as you mentioned, Pav, SBF comes out, CZ, Binance, they all come out with a statement.
Thank you so much for helping us.
Yeah, basically SBF.
Clapping hands and hands in the air, not even kidding.
Thanks Binance, you guys are going to help us. Thanks CZ, you guys are awesome. So the story goes, Binance said that they were going to essentially bail out FTX. They're going to save them with the key directive being to protect customer assets. That's the main. They love to talk about this customer assets. It's all about the customer, not about saving themselves ever. But yeah, save the customer assets, and Binance is going to be that white knight to come in and essentially save the FTX customers. What happened next?
They did their due diligence, and
apparently
high five.
Subject to due diligence is an asterisk we're going to put in here.
Yeah.
And many things are highlighted or are put forward subject to due diligence, as they should be, always. Trev coming into this office today was subject to due diligence checks.
And
luckily he got past it, but he's here now.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Yeah, I also live streamed from here. Probably, I don't know.
Yeah, he did.
Well, got company secrets and just showing you.
Yeah. Nah, the only secrets here is that we don't have any bloody cheese left in the fridge because
it's Friday.
It's Friday and the cheese is gone. So
it's crazy.
That is, we didn't want that getting out, but here we are. Yeah. But from there we talked about Binance coming in as the white knight. They subject to due diligence. We had a day when the market reacted to that. Everyone thought Binance is coming in to save the day. The markets were still obviously dumping, crashing. We've seen Bitcoin. I know Bitcoin went from say 21 grand back to nearly 15 grand. We've seen ETH go from, I can't remember where it was at, 1700 back to
almost touched it.
Back to nearly 1100, right? So we've seen big sell-offs and then obviously the more closely affected coins like
FTTs,
or FTX token and Sol.
Yeah. So Ethereum went from 1680 to 1073.
Yeah.
Right, so that's a big sell-off.
Yeah, and a big part of, I guess, this whole sort of thing is the Solana token. A lot of it is early vested and sort of locked up by this whole sort of FTX Alameda group conglomerate. So that's why that token.
A lot of people are probably wondering actually why Sol was selling off so hard as well. And I covered it across kind of LinkedIn and Twitter myself, but it's that connection with Sol token and FTX is hopefully more people now understand the connection, right? Not to say that projects are data in trouble or anything like that, but it's it's been a massive.
Solana's got one of the best communities going around, which is what's even more heartbreaking about this. I think.
Yeah, I know. The thing that worries me for some of them, because not all of them, right? Because any project that had this applies to anything, not just Solana tokens, but all the FTX Alameda-led series round sort of.
Well, do you know they bought more? Like even Ren, I didn't know Ren got bought into by the Alameda group.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Like that's even sadder, right? Again, contagion. Yeah.
So,
Stop trying to dump your in. Stop.
What's that?
Stop trying to dump your in. I see your left hand going down for the phone there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm out. So any of those, I think I mentioned this in my group that, or did I on Twitter or whatever. Actually, no. I said it on my live stream. I know I've said it. I just can't remember. I've been everywhere the last couple of days. You need to reach out to those projects themselves and ask them, are you guys solvent, right? Because if you if they've invested in all the money and then, you know, all of the wages for all the devs and everything is coming from the VCs, how do they operate? Like, were they smart enough to sell the token to stables and then they put the stables somewhere else and now they got runway for however many years, and that's cool. But if they didn't, you know what happens, right?
Yeah. Actually, that brings me to a question I wanted to ask you is, like, what are your thoughts on, because projects and companies get a lot of shit for selling their own token.
Right.
If the market runs, you launch a token on the bear market, it runs and you believe 100 exit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see an issue with companies selling down some of that token to kind of realize value, realize profit, and cement their own runway. Like, I don't see an issue with that. But if you put that to a lot of the industry, they're like, oh my god, they're dumping their own token. Like, they see a big problem with it. Like, I'm not talking about dumping 50-60% of bloody the holdings, but it's more about, like, I don't see an issue with that. What's your kind of take on that? I know this is a little bit of a tangent, but I'd like to cover it.
Nothing wrong with tangents.
Yeah. This
Why do you gotta get tangents?
This whole industry is a tangent. Like, yesterday everything was fine, now today it's not. Well, it wasn't fine. It was just Amber Alert. Now it's Red Alert. I think what pisses people off the most is nobody sticks to what they're going to say. Everything changes. So, I mean, if somebody said at the very beginning, you know, this is our project and this is our roadmap, and nobody sticks to a roadmap for one, so that's a get out of our way, that sucks. But here's the project, here's our roadmap, here's what we're going to do. Well, and to be fair, you need to change the roadmap to adapt to current conditions. Anyway, these are the tokenomics, and in order to operate this business, we need to hire 6 devs, a CEO, and blah, 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 and these are their salaries, and we're going to use some of the funds to give us 2 years of runway and, you know, how much money we need for marketing or whatever. And everything else goes to rewards or the community or whatever, right? And if you're up front with that, and then you do your IEO or ICO or whatever it is you're going to say, and then you stick with it, and people invest based on that, I don't think there's an issue with it. Yep. But the problem is everybody changes their mind all the time, right? They change the rules and all this, and I mean, but most of the tokens these days have got like
vesting periods and stuff, right?
Yeah, well, they're not vesting periods, but if you look at the pie charts that they like to put out, they say
it's always
tokenomics charts.
It's like all it is synonyms for it's our money. Yep. So the marketing budget, then the advertising budget, then the community building budget, and it's just all not yours.
Yep.
Right? There's a little sliver for community, and there's all these other words that mean, we're going to keep
the issue I would have is when they actively say we are not going to do something and then do it.
Yeah.
That's the issue that I have with projects when they do things like that. It's not really, like, again, like I said, I've got no issue with them selling down 5%, 10% of tokens that they hold as a business, because hey, the market has done what the markets do, and has allowed them to access this value, this capital that they've earned essentially as being project builders. You know, but again, just wanted to kind of touch on that one quickly. I don't know if it's not really relevant to FTX, but it's still I think it's a good one.
But some of them recently have been, you know, you give them stable coins and then you get the token back.
Other bonds.
So you like you go in and you buy, you know, you invest in whatever project it is, you get the project's token, but you're giving them stables. So they're liquid now. Yep. It's not like they're holding their own token and that's the money that they need to survive. So they're just getting stables. So everything should be kosher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've got no tokens to sell, but they keep all these extra tokens, so they also, you know, and then they start dumping for whatever reason.
Back to the story?
Yeah, back to the story.
Where were we up to? We were up to the SBF saying thank you, CZ. I think that's what we're up to.
Yeah, he said thank you, CZ.
And then they did their DD.
We're doing their DD.
And they said
the next day of the market selling off.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So 2 days.
Then we had the overnighter. I think, remember, I woke up at 4 a.m. and I saw the tweet that basically said that Binance did the DD and there's no way in hell they were gonna
they couldn't
save this irreparable damage done to the business, which was the next thing to rock the market, I suppose, after that. So how do you guys see that play out?
I'm trying to think back. Was that the same night as the CPI data, or
no?
It was the night before. That was Blood Night, right? Still kept going. Pretty sure.
Well, that's when it really accelerated because there was hope, right? So I'm looking at the charts, and he said that he's going to double the FTT, and
Yeah.
FTT's still at like $12.
It was
I'm
holding, right?
I'm going,
Yeah.
why is it still at $12?
I think got single digits. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after
Yeah.
that, he's going, nah, we're out. And
Yeah.
it's just crazy, right?
Yeah.
So it was a slow death, and then, oh, we're out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me initially, it was like, Binance has got enough money to cover this.
Sure.
But I only said that because I didn't realize that the hole was that big. Like, how could it get that big? And now we know with all the stuff that's come out.
Yeah.
That, yeah, of course it's that big because,
It's huge.
yeah, because they're doing dumb shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why? Right? Yeah, it doesn't make logical sense.
So where we know, I guess what people probably want to know is, like, where is it right now?
I got
Apart from everything falling down around us when it comes to FTX,
Yeah.
where are we now, Pav?
Well,
And what's happening next?
It was interesting. So there's two bits to it. So FTX International really is the body that's actually primarily affected. FTX US is allegedly safe, but again,
now.
take that for what you will.
now.
But today Sam put out a post, pretty lengthy one. I won't go over everything, but the key points are they're basically winding down trading for Alameda Research, so RIP. FTX will do anything it can to raise liquidity over the next couple of weeks, but there's no promises. If FTX can successfully raise money, they will likely still file for bankruptcy. That is a reality. Go to receivership, administration, pay out the liquidators, that sort of stuff. Users were able to withdraw the last 24 hours. They did reopen a lot of that. So again, I feel like the situation is evolving hour to hour, and everything just keeps changing.
Yeah, it's so fluid at the moment.
All the ventures websites and Alameda have been down as well to some degree. Most of the, apparently, and this is alleged again, FTX legal and compliance teams have quit. The SEC and Department of Justice are investigating, which I know Trav, you've got some juicy thoughts there on the SEC. So,
Well, only because I've seen tweets that are, yeah, okay.
but yeah, other than that, VC is taking a big hit, which we already sort of covered. Sequoia Capital has come out and basically marked down their FTX investment to zero.
That one yesterday, I read that one yesterday, and
Yeah.
it was like, these guys are experienced to know what they're doing, and they kind of, the notice is quite long, but it kind of just says, hey, we make some risky bets at times. This one didn't pay off for us.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it said in
Yeah.
the Sequoia Capital notice.
Yeah.
Said I've written it off to zero already.
And the other big breaking news is people are now calling for Jonah Hill to play Sam, the subsequent movie, to break this all down.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, old school Jonah Hill with the fro. Right?
Yeah.
that'd be
I'm looking at a picture on Pav's computer, and it's like perfection.
Who would?
So-
Oh yeah, I know. And then I think the full name is they had the guy, what's the name?
Or John C. Reilly.
No. Oh yeah, that'd be a good.
John C. Reilly.
He might be a bit old though. I mean, like Cassandra's only 30.
Yeah, be fine.
What's his? He was Sulu on Star Trek, and he was
idea.
he was the MILF guy on American Pie. He's the actor, the Korean guy.
We won't think of
And
it.
White Castle was in that too.
Oh, bloody.
Is it John? It's not John Cho, is it? Is that his name? Or I think it's somebody else.
Probably take up the rest of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We'll
you
look
know what I'm
up to
talking
it.
about.
Yeah.
American
Right in
Pie
if you
fan.
know
You
what
know
it
what
is.
I mean.
You know.
You know what I mean.
He's got a good CZ. He just needs to shave his head.
Yeah, fair enough.
John Chu?
John Chu. It was.
There
Oh,
we
you
go.
got it right.
You got it.
Gina.
Oh, cheers for me. All right.
Cheers. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was I mean, it's going to happen, right?
It will.
Netflix will be all over this.
Oh,
Netflix will be absolutely
Netflix.
all over it. Right there.
If they don't lose all their customers, they'll be all over it.
And they could use all the money to help with people affected.
Yeah, they could.
could.
They could donate to the FTX fund.
So I guess bringing it back to the story. What happens next?
Well, we've got
Where-
Justin Sun now.
Where are we
He's
now?
coming in.
Where
Justin
are we
Sun.
now? What happens next?
Oh.
Didn't we pay like $1 million to have dinner with Buffett last year or 2 years?
Oh, that was.
Really?
Well,
Was
yeah,
it all you
he
can
did
eat
that.
buffet?
No, he did, but I don't think it
Easy.
actually happened.
Buffet?
Oh,
He did. He did it.
dad joke. Lovely.
He did it. Might need another beer to get through this one. But so what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do for the ecosystem? What's Justin Sun or what's Tron? What are
As
Tron
I
gonna do for the
understand it,
ecosystem?
and I don't know what's happening.
It hasn't
Since-
evolved since
in
I
the-
just checked it.
in
so
the
it's
last few
saying-
hours.
Yeah.
So he's saying, okay, so here's the tweet, which I am reading directly from his thing. So it's I love how he changes his name now to His Excellency.
Has he?
Yeah, because he is a
Oh, that's what that means.
he's
H.E.
he's
I
a
had no
legit
idea that's what it was.
diplomatic. Who's the country that he's a
I'm trying to
diplomat.
work out what the country is.
Yeah, that's so. Whatever those flags are, that's the country. So he's a legit. He's got diplomatic.
Oh, he's actually
Yeah.
okay. Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I love it.
Good game of chess.
Like he plays into it.
Yeah. Just leans right in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Further to my announcement to stand behind all Tron tokens, so that's Tron, BTT, JST, Sun, and HT, which I'm not sure what is. So all Tron. Pardon?
Halftime.
Halftime, yeah. So all the Tron token holders on FTX, we are putting together a solution together with FTX to initiate a pathway forward. So meaning that getting those tokens out of FTX and then, letting them withdraw it somehow, maybe across to Poloniex or something, because
That's what they own, right? They own Poloniex.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Justin bought it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know when. 18 months ago, 2 years ago, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the days. Poloniex was good in the
That
day.
was one of the OGs.
Yeah, it's good in the day.
Yeah.
Anyway, sidebar. So he's saying that. So that makes sense to me, but it's weird why they're doing it the way that he's doing it. So because what's happening now is that people are buying up all the Tron related tokens on FTX, and the price is mooning, right? So
Yeah.
if you got in before, you actually haven't even made money because you can't sell because you can't get the profits out of FTX anyway. But so people are buying, everyone's piling into Tron, but the problem is the price is mooning on FTX, but it's not mooning everywhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
So once you take all the tokens out, you're going to have less tokens because they're more expensive on FTX, and then if you do get them out, you can then deposit them at Poloniex or Binance or
The
wherever.
price isn't the same.
The real price will be at the other exchanges,
Yeah.
but because you bought it at an inflated price on FTX, you got less tokens than what you would have normally. So it's kind of like the whole you're going to get 10 cents on your dollar thing.
Yeah.
So I guess it's sort of like accelerating the whole. Do you want to hang around in FTX and wait for the whole legal system to go through,
Yeah.
and you'll end up
Potentially years.
yeah.
Well,
and
we're still waiting on Mt. Gox to play out.
well, that's right. So
Yeah.
you're going to get 10 cents on your dollar anyway.
Yeah.
Do you just get that now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing that puzzles me
Yeah.
again, and this is my thinking, is that Justin is in control of those chains, right?
Yeah.
So why not get FTX to give you all the balances of all of the coins that they have and all the people that own them, burn them or block them or whatever, and then reissue the tokens on his exchange and go, here you go, here's your token.
Get a bunch of new users.
Yeah.
They could do that.
He's in
You
control of
can,
the
you can
chain.
really bring back Poloniex back to life.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
What was just bringing it back
Oh,
one step?
So like
Yeah.
just wipe them off
Yeah.
because like
Burn them and replace
Circle
them.
does it and Tether
Yeah.
does it with
Well, we've seen
dodgy
it.
tokens.
We've
with-
seen it before.
Yeah.
Like, with
Yeah,
those
we're gonna
things
blacklist
and
this wallet.
that.
We're gonna blacklist this wallet.
Yeah, exactly.
Justin could do the same thing
Yeah.
because he's controlling the chain.
Yeah.
What do we think? Like,
Why
what
don't
do,
you do
you,
that?
I like it.
what do you guys think
Justin, if you're listening,
Binance's play was?
don't be a dodgy. Just do that.
What do you guys think Binance's play would have been if they say did go through with the deal? Do you guys ever think there wasn't a case where Binance were going to actually step in as the white
I
knight,
think,
or
I
is
think
it?
it was cheap enough.
Yeah, the price is
What was
always
their
right.
play? What do you guys? What do you think their play was? Like, was it a customer acquisition play? Was it knock off your arguably biggest competitor? Like, what was their angle?
Probably a mixture of everything, to be honest.
What do you reckon their angle was?
Well, there's the human angle because I just hate you, so I'm going to take you down.
Yeah.
For no other reason than spite.
Yeah.
And then you've got the competition angle, like you said. So we want to be number one and have absolute daylight between us and second place. and third
More
place.
daylight, I would say.
Yeah, well, yeah, more daylight.
I think a lot of it is just the fact that the market is where it was. You're always going to see the cracks and fissures show whenever it's like any sort of lending and that sort of extreme bearish prices are down as far as they've been.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, your leverage rates went from a comfortable 18 to what we saw like 50% on their FTT tokens, which they did it to themselves, right? But if the price held at $40 on FTT token instead of going down to 20 something, it would have probably never happened. I don't know. Like it's just
I see it's just like give me
Yeah.
that volume.
yeah.
See
Yeah.
that volume over there? Give it to me.
Yeah.
Because everyone's volume's down, including Binance's, even though it's still
Yeah.
huge,
Yeah.
but it's still down.
Yeah. Because I always thought that he would, if the price was good enough, that he would, because you'd have to know that if this went south, that it would just set us back well, years, and then everyone would leave, and all the people would just get disenfranchised. Like, there's so many big traders that have been, these guys are the best of the best at what they do.
Yeah.
And, they're doing, scalping and high frequency trading using bots, and they're putting heaps of all their cash.
They're making a market, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you just go and destroy them.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's what I can't believe, because I know for a fact, like, a lot of these big guys.
Disenfranchise a whole bunch of people, and you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So
Ruin the community.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's people that are. I mean, that Alex Weiss guy? I know he's at least worth 8 figures, but he's come out and said all
Same
of
as
my
Pav.
I wish.
all of my funny was funny.
All
All
of
of my
my
money. Oh God, you got to laugh, don't you? All of my money
Yeah.
was on FTX.
Yeah, that's scary.
And the first thing I'm going is why?
Yeah.
And then I'm going, wow, that's because I know that guy's loaded.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
So Trav, what could you do? What else could you do other than hold your money on an exchange? There's nothing else you can do, right?
That's the best segue. for-
Absolute awesome segue. Yeah,
Tell me.
I wish I
Tell
knew
us.
the answer to that.
Tell us.
I wish I knew. Yeah, well, self-custody wallets, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got the two types: the ones that aren't hardware wallet enabled, and then the ones that you just generate paper wallets, or you got the Chrome extension wallets, which, depending your view of Chrome extension security and how you feel about Google and all that sort of stuff, you're either a fan of it or you're not. And there's plenty of people that don't like MetaMask because of they're a private company or whatever.
I know plenty of people who got Minimax drained as well.
Yeah.
That was like last year,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So many.
Yeah.
Connecting to
There's
third-party extensions or platforms, and then
you download a virus and then you're screwed. But at least if you've got, your money's on a hardware wallet enabled self-custody wallet, and then you use MetaMask to send stuff.
that's fine.
Yeah, you got your
You got a layer.
you got your hard break there, so that's okay. It's you got to press a few buttons to enable and say you approve.
Sign the transaction. Yeah.
So if you're a high frequency trader, it would be impossible to do that
It
unless
would, yeah.
unless
Agreed.
you're like a gigabrain and know how to get around it and auto press the buttons, right? But then if you can do that in software, that means other scammers
People
can
can
do it in
do it
software,
anyway.
right? So all the big guys are now going, well, we have to put our money on centralized exchanges because we need the liquidity, we need the speed, the APIs are there, and all that sort of stuff. And DeFi just isn't there at the moment, and we're hoping that it will be. But everybody now has just got that kick up the butt to say, all the worst that could happen. It's happening right now. It's not just a make-believe and, I'll do it tomorrow and I'll buy one and whatever. And just as a sidebar, don't buy these things from eBay, all right?
No, definitely not.
Buy direct
Yeah.
from the company, pay the freight, think of it as insurance, okay? Don't...
It only takes an extra 2 weeks.
Yeah, right? Anyway, so definitely paper wallets or hardware wallets.
Yeah, I think it's
Open
it's
source
interesting.
too, go open source if you can, so...
Everyone's got a different strategy on custody or
yeah.
or like even owning the private keys, holding the private keys. There shouldn't be that many opinions on what the best way to do things are. Like I think there's way too many opinions on you should do it this way, should it. At the end of the day, yes, if you want to do some trading, you leave a small percentage of your assets on the exchange, the one that you've vetted, the one that you've trusted. Do some of your own due diligence on the companies that you're trading with, right? Like, what's their custody process? Who are they? Or do they actually exist? Are they just this phantom company? Now, FTX is a bad example here because they're really, a trusted entity in the space. But again, there are certain things you can check for this. But going back to best practices, what are the best practices? 100%. As much of your assets in cold storage, away, separated as you can. Like I know personally, my cold wallets, it only goes one way into those. Very, very rarely I move assets out because I've only ever keep on the exchange what I want to trade with. Again, you have to be aware of the risk of keeping it on exchange. You're not the holder of the private keys, which means essentially they're not your assets right then. So that's just acknowledging that.
That's
The
everywhere.
pros, you get to trade fast, you get to trade regularly, set your orders, everything else that we like. But the negatives are, if anything happens, so it's about just really trying to vet that exchange or that company as closely as you can.
Definitely.
But even when you do that, sometimes it doesn't work. So
Well, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right. I mean, and this is where leverage is a good thing.
yeah, exactly right.
Right?
This is what it was made for. Like, so
Yeah.
you could keep all of it.
Because people say, "Oh, leverage will
Yeah.
get wrecked," right? But leverage can save you
Yeah.
if you think about it like this.
Yeah.
If you've got 90% of your stack in your cold wallet and 10% is in the exchange and you're using it to trade with, you can still trade your full size by using leverage, right? And even if you get completely obliterated by, whatever, you did something stupid, or the exchange went bust, or they turned out to be scammers and ran away with it, or, I could throw in a joke here, but I won't. But it's an FTX related joke. But, you know what I mean? So even if the worst thing happened, you still got 90% of your cash in your cold wallet, but you're still trading with full size as if you had all your money on the exchange anyway. So you just need to learn about, liquidation points and things like that, and you don't go all stupid.
yeah, I mean that's not for everybody.
No,
as well.
it's
Like
definitely
it's
not.
not for everybody. So definitely trying to, I guess, simplify it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way of getting that value
Yeah.
for your cash that you might
If
have.
you're getting to that point though, and thinking about that,
Yeah.
you're definitely not a green noob
Sure.
sort of thing,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. What have you been talking about with your own community? Like you're on the Crypto Mastermind on Facebook, and you got some Discord, and you got your own groups. Like, what's the sentiment and the chat been like with your group over the last this week, I suppose?
Just with the sentiment. Yeah, like I think everybody is as surprised. It's weird, like, because with the whole Luna blow up, it was sort of like,
Well, I'll get a stablecoin, right? Like, you can kind of
yeah.
death spiral.
You can see there's
Yeah.
it's guaranteed 20%
You
yield.
can
and
you
I'm
can
like,
stomach it.
oh.
Well, no,
You can just about stomach it.
It's gonna
From
happen.
the point of view of tokenomics, it's always going to blow up,
It's
right?
going to happen
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
This is just like, it's a tier
It's
one.
the
They're
smoke and
sponsoring
mirrors.
everything.
Yeah.
They're lobbying. They're going
Yeah.
to DC. I mean, some of his ideas
Sure.
wasn't
They're
agreement.
sitting down with government regulators every day, publishing.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, way out of left field. Some of these, some of the conspiracy theories are coming true. Like there's even one now that people are saying that some of the tweets mirror what Chef Nomi, like his speech patterns and the words that he says. So if you remember, no, can't make you up. So here's a new one. So if you're not aware and you knew, 18 months ago, or was it 2 years ago? 2020. So when the sushi protocol came around, when they vampire attacked Uniswap, it was all
Allegedly, or it actually happened.
no, it was a vampire attack.
It's on the chain, yeah.
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 But that wasn't like they stole funds. It was like, this is what we're going to do. If you put your money into this farm, then we'll copy the thing over. Anyway, that was all run by Chef Nomi.
Yep.
And then I forget what he did that was suspect, but then they sort of turfed him out. But the thing was, he passed over the multi-sig keys to Sam and a bunch of other people. And if you go back, it's like people have been posting, retweeting the things and screenshotting it. And if you look at the way it's worded and written in the sentences,
Yeah.
and then you look at the recent ones that Sam has worded now,
Man,
this
this is crazy.
it's the same. And going, shit, do your own research. This is not founded and true or anything.
And what was that most recent piece from Sushi too? Like they found major investment or something, which is why their price pumped like a month ago. Did you see that?
Major investment.
Well, there was some news or buzz that, from a fundamental aspect, things looked very positive for
Well,
Sushi.
they got a new head chef, so
Yeah.
yeah, he's actually. Well, I've known him for a while. He's in my group.
Yeah.
So his name is Jared Gray, and he's an American, and he's fully doxxed, and everybody knows
Yep.
who he is. And anyway, so he's coming with fresh ideas, right? It's just like any other company that you've ever worked for.
Yep.
If someone comes in, new management, I've got these new, everyone's all
Yep.
pumped and
Yep.
all that sort of stuff. So there's that air of yes, things are going to turn around. We've got new leadership and whatever.
Yeah.
And they do have a couple of things in the works that they're going to release. They just all of this, like, this is not secret information that I know. This is all in the Sushi DAO. So just go to the forums and they talk about it openly. The biggest problem that they've got at the moment is that their runway is running out because it's in sushi, right?
Yeah, so the
so-
market needs to.
Yeah, so what do? Do you, if you pump the price, all the problems go away, but we're in a bear market, so do you stop the profits going to ex-sushi holders, and then all the ex-sushi holders are now going, oh no, we want our money. Well, if you do that, then
This dies.
Everything dies. So
Yeah.
anyway, there's a big argy-bargy in.
There's a balancing act happening in a lot of businesses at the moment, regardless of what industry they're in, to be honest. Yeah.
I actually lost that train of thought. Where were we before that?
You were talking about SBF getting the private keys from.
Oh yeah. So SBF was So the theory is now that SBF was Chef Nobby, so he's gone and screwed everybody even before.
Yeah.
So
Well,
to get the sushi token initially when it came out, you just had to farm for it. So of course Alameda dumped in like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So they are a big holder of the sushi token.
Apparently on that alleged balance sheet too, that
That's how they got their tokens. I mean, it's legit in the fact that they farmed for it.
Yeah.
So now there's an overhanging thing. The same with Solana is that if they have to liquidate their sushi, those tokens are going to crater. And everyone's going, the unlock with Solana from the validators. So if they get unlocked and sold to pay back creditors, then that's going to crater.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on that.
keep an eye on sushi, keep an eye on salt.
Yeah.
I think that's good tech.
Keep an eye on that. So it could.
Things can happen.
As far as I'm aware, FTX and Alameda only hold, it's a big chunk, it's like about 10% of supply of Solana. And so 90% is covered by everybody else. So that includes Anatoly and all the guys that actually run
There's
the show.
heaps locked up still vesting.
Oh yeah, it's not validators,
Staking
right?
validators.
So they can't. The way that it works, and I don't know it to full extent, but you can't just take it out whenever you want and then dump it.
Yep.
There's like an epoch.
Yeah, you got to wait for the next epoch.
And it's all broadcast on chain, so you know it's coming.
Yeah, there's actual countdown timers, so you can know when the next epoch release is, and you can see how much has been
and everyone's
activated,
freaking out about
deactivated.
it. And
It's pretty transparent.
Yeah,
very transparent.
It's definitely one to watch though.
Mm.
You gotta keep an eye on those. Any of those tokens that are in or around the FTX ecosystem.
Yeah, so
Still.
they led the round for Aptos and Sui.
Yeah, they did.
That's right.
So
what happens to them? I mean, Aptos so far has been a bit of a fizzer.
We were talking about that yesterday.
With those NFTs that they've been doing. They've all been copycats of ETH ones and Solana ones, and they just haven't really.
No, it hasn't
they've
taken
all
off.
just got crazy.
Well, you can always launch a chain and say it's better, it's faster, but you need the community, you need the devs. Like you can't do shit without that.
We say that tomorrow. We just launch one tomorrow. It's better, faster.
It's not going to work.
Billion TPS. Billion TPS tab.
Well, it's all about the TPS.
It's all about your TPS. What's your TPS?
How big's your TPS?
How big's your TPS?
You got the TPS reports. What's this TPS?
Yeah.
That's what the TPS reports on Monday.
Office Space.
Yeah, Office
movie.
Space.
Great
Office
movie.
Space.
Great movie, that one. Yeah. I woke up this morning and looked at the charts.
Yeah.
You did.
Massive
That's
bounce.
good that you did.
Huge bounce.
Huge.
What's going on there? What do
Yeah, I
you
think it's a good
happening
one.
there?
What's your take, Trav? Like everyone's seen blood, and then to see Bitcoin up 20%.
I think that So there's definitely a little bit more clarity now. So it's like, we now know the risks.
You think the CPI
Finance-
data helped?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But for tokens that are like right in the firing line,
Yeah.
like Solana and FTT. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be buying FTT whenever, but so everything's bounced sort of around where the news has come out that there is, CZ says he's not going to go ahead, and then Justin Sun has come in and said, I'm going to try and rescue you. So one of the tweets is, I'm going to do these token holders and rescue, but then there's if you read other tweets that he said, the wording sounds like he's trying to do a rescue package for everybody.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of, maybe things aren't so bad. So, and then the CPI data comes in better than expected. So then there might be just
first time since we've
so there's a relief
inflation
rally.
Yeah.
Which is also probably fueled by a short squeeze, because if you look, you look at the funding rates for the coins, it's something like 25% a day that these guys are having to pay to keep the
Positions open, yeah.
because it's so
Everyone's
everyone's so
one-sided.
short.
Because it massively skewed in one direction, right?
Yeah,
So equals short
Equals-
squeeze.
equal short squeeze
Short
if you've got the cash around to push it that way. Yeah, so
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense after something like this, and I think a lot of people, there's a sentiment in the market, and I think I'm seeing it through a lot of the socials and hearing it, and it's a little bit of recency bias for me at the moment. So I don't know if I've taken a position on it yet, but everyone's saying we needed like a big industry, big player capitulation to
Mark the bottom.
Mark the bottom.
Well, let's not say
Yeah.
that's what this is.
Yeah,
but
no,
it's
we're not
almost
saying
like
that that's what it is, but
it's a recipe
if there was
for it, right?
going to be something that looked like that,
Yeah.
maybe this is part of it, right? Like we've seen some big pairs go down, huge pairs go down over the last 6 months.
All
right?
the VC people everyone was calling for in 2018, 2019, we got them, and now they're all locked.
Yeah.
It's true. It is true. Yeah.
Everything was
Actually,
better when they were there.
I've seen some of the
So,
some of the industry ETFs have been just
That'd be sure,
have
right? I
been-
haven't even checked that.
no, they're discontinuing.
They would have pulled out the actual.
I seen there
other
was
ones.
two in Australia. Cosmos was one of them. I can't remember the other one.
Right.
That basically announced that they're going to round it up.
Right.
Yeah,
Jeez.
finish it up. They're not going to offer the ETF anymore. Still some pretty good ones available in the market, but it's interesting. Like these companies seemingly have fought for years and years and years to get
Yeah.
ETFs or close to
Yeah.
spot ETFs to market, and now they're like, oh yeah, no, we're not
pack it in.
interested anymore. So it's like,
like MicroStrategy's done a round trip. You seen that?
I was waiting for a tweet to come out during all the craziness.
Like just the chart. You see, it's on a round trip. So it's you had the thing, had the pump in 2020, and
Yeah.
that's all the way back to where
yeah,
it started.
started. Yeah.
Jeez, eh?
Do you think that actually that's a good point? What do you guys think about MicroStrategy and like their strategy and like
Yeah.
is that another catalyst?
That's not.
Is there a potential catalyst?
You
Listen,
can't
you have to talk.
Another
Something like
Well, does Sailor
Yeah.
come on and say, hey, you know something? Yeah, I might have been wrong about this or whatever way he's
Can he
Yeah.
hedge himself though?
Can he what?
Can he hedge himself? I mean, he's got
No,
all the Bitcoin.
they constantly take profits. Like you can actually track their activity.
Yeah.
I think on
They
Glassnode.
sold some recently actually. That's right.
Yeah,
actually,
they
right.
always constantly resettle because they have to do quarter to quarter. Like they have a balance sheet that they need to
Yeah.
manage.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is versus us just.
Us degens.
Us degens, just like yellow swaggies. They actually take profit.
Wearing
monthly.
badge of honor. Right?
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day we get a jumpsuit. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I guess we've seen this. We're seeing that right now we're seeing a relief rally today.
Yeah.
I guess the people are going to be asking what's next. Is it just a relief rally? Obviously, no one's got a crystal ball here.
I want to call out some stuff that I'm seeing just right now. A lot of the decentralized DEXs, so DYDX, Mango Markets, a lot
Makes
of
sense.
these market makers that offer derivatives on a decentralized
Makes sense.
platform, they're actually mooning a bit more than the others.
Yeah.
So a bit of a fundamental play there as well.
Oh yeah. Trade the narrative, mate.
Like, absolutely, follow
Trade the
the
narrative,
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
coin.
Yeah.
Why didn't we think of this before Pav said it?
What? Trade the narrative, not the coin.
No, just like was it not a no-brainer that the Dexes were going to pump? In hindsight, everything's 2020, but you know.
No, no.
It would've been, wouldn't it?
It's been talked about. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much time you spend on Twitter because, like, I'm on
Too
there.
much
I'm
time.
on there constantly. But you have meetings, mate. What are you doing on Twitter?
Tommy's doing
I'm
space.
in
Spaces?
meetings.
Yeah.
I'm doing
Oh,
spaces.
you're on Spaces?
I love
Yeah.
spaces now.
Do you?
Probably the best resource I've ever had. I would say.
Just recently
I
got
haven't seen
around.
you in there, man.
In Spaces?
No.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a Spaces virgin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might be able to see to that later.
Oh, really?
All right.
All
Things
right.
getting hot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hope
it
you guys
is.
are over 18.
That's right. Yeah, middle of the day.
And it might need a shower
It's
before you
Friday.
go.
It is
Friday?
It's Friday. That's it.
You got, yeah, well, it's Snowpad's Friday for you, then, isn't it?
Mate, I forgot to shave this morning, but you know. It's all right.
Yeah. So what do you reckon, Pav?
Yeah.
What's the next move?
Oh, what's the next
It's
move?
hard to call. We're not
I want to
sure.
see the weekly close.
Yeah.
We'll just see what's happening then, and then
We haven't regained the level, have we?
No,
we tested and rejected. So what we're talking about there is the last pivot low before we broke under here. So you know that was like 17.5, just off the top of my head, depending on what exchange you're looking at.
You just hit that line
It's
and
already starting to go backwards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so here's the. I mean, you can't see what I'm looking at, but
Yeah.
if you're at home, viewers,
Yeah.
get on TradingView. So in the last, there's like a high test there on the 4 hour, so it's rejected the underside.
Yeah, it's one of these ones you can just wait for and see it reclaim some pretty key levels. But for me, like I'm eyeing off the 15.7, 15.8, like even 18, just for full confirmation, right? So
What if you're a spot trader? What are you doing? Are you doing anything right now?
you're following your strategy, Tommy, because we don't tell you what to do.
Absolutely. I mean, when I say what are you doing,
That's
I mean,
a quality
what
answer.
what should I be doing?
That's a
as a-
quality answer. Well,
As a spot trader, I mean, most people are like, dollar cost average into the market. This is what people kind of try to roll with.
I've been doing that, but the way that I do it, and this is the way that I do it, right? That doesn't mean that you go out and do this. The way that I do it is I look at the chart and find the levels, right? Because
Yeah.
Price doesn't hang around in between the levels.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean it's going to stop at every level, but it's definitely not going to stay in between. So if you're going to DCA and buy stuff, just buy it at each level on the way down. Don't DCA every day, because it might be in between a level and you're wasting your time.
What about stink bids?
Definitely the stink bids.
Put in a few stink bids, right? Everyone can bet on a stink bid.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you're on exchanges like KuCoin, because they tend to wick down to zero more often than not. It happens with Ethereum.
Like code error.
No,
What's that?
Just like an error.
No. I think it's got to do with liquidity. Like,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so
eventually.
massive wicks,
Yeah.
and they say if you could have like this, like a ridiculous bit,
It was,
like
it was a big thing in like the early 2000s when there was all of these CFD companies that came out of nowhere.
So just have
Too
some
much bloody
ridiculous
liquidity
low
on
bid.
some flicks. What's happened?
Chuck in $100 at like $1,000 on Bitcoin or something, and just leave it there, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? It'll probably never hit, but if it does,
Nice.
win. But as far as the more, this one's more than likely going to hit on the way down. When things capitulate, like if you go back and look at the charts now, even with like Solana, absolutely cratered,
Hit the
but
support
it
level.
stopped right at that order block.
Yeah, it did. It's watching that.
Everybody's watching that level because
Yeah.
that's had activity, in 2021 on the way up, right?
Yeah.
So have your orders there. And then the next order block off the top of my head is there's like a swing high, like at $5, and then there's the big order block, which is the $3 meme. When Sam said to one of the...
I'll buy all
I'll buy all your
$3
Solana at $3 and then go
once.
off,
Yeah.
right? So everyone's just waiting
Yeah.
for that meme to come full circle.
Yeah.
Like
Literally.
the guy, Coin Mamba, he's going to celebrate so hard if that happens.
Yeah.
It's
I
absolutely
am
going to
here
happen
for
too.
it.
It'll
I
absolutely
am
happen.
here for
You
it.
have to think.
I am here for it.
What's Sol trading at right now?
We got $19 US.
$19.
Is
So
that-
we're talking about a coin that's at
Yeah.
$19 now. That
Yeah, so like
the
if you're the
prophecy
same,
is that it
Bitcoin's
goes
the
back to
same.
3.
Like the big meme level for Bitcoin is between 10 and 12k.
Yeah, it is.
Because
Yeah.
that was again, if you zoom out on the chart and look to the left, there's all this activity there, and it's a pretty obvious line if you look on the weekly, especially. There is nothing wrong with just leaving some limit orders there,
Yeah.
and just chances are, if you're Australian, all this activity is going to hit while you're asleep. It always happens.
So you need your limit orders in place.
Yeah,
You need to have
because it'll happen during New York time.
You need to have your stink bids in.
Or have your stink bids in, man.
Yeah.
And
good.
yeah, I do. Partly because I'm busy.
You can edit them now in SwiftX. You know that we released it this week. You can edit your open orders.
Get amongst it, people.
I really enjoy
Get
editing
amongst it.
open orders. I've been doing it on some dexes for a while,
Yeah.
and we brought it in this week, so I was pretty happy with
Nice
that.
one.
Have you
Nice
used
one,
that?
Devs.
Yeah, well done, devs. Well done, SwiftX devs. Good work. Have you
Not sponsored by
used
me.
it yet?
I market bought when things were falling apart.
You
yesterday.
market?
Yeah, but have you tried the new edit?
No, I need to do it. I need to do it.
You get Trev to put it
I took my lot
Yeah,
budget
alright,
that my wife gave
Yeah,
me.
we'll give you a knife and fork.
Oh,
and
will you?
we'll let you go in and cut them apart for us.
I'll do it at home so you can't just say, well, make sure you say this.
The minister of constructive feedback is sitting beside me to my right,
Yeah.
which is good. We like that.
I have my opinions.
That's what we
I
want.
haven't
Nice.
actually had a rant yet. I usually go on a rant.
Yeah.
I've been pretty
You've been on
tense.
about
I
6.
think you're right. Yeah.
No, I haven't got angry though.
That's alright.
Next time.
That's fun.
Next one, so I come
Next time we'll get angry. We'll all get angry.
Well,
Why not?
if there's still an industry to be angry
We
at.
we've had a fight. We've fought on this a few times.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's got bad.
But
It's bad.
but you shook hands and you still here.
I was passionate. Yeah.
Contractually obliged to be here, mate. Just don't get it twisted.
Turn it up.
It's a bit of a Carl Steffen Mohovic and
It
what's
is.
her name? Lisa Wilkins situation.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Which one?
Obviously.
So if you're watching cards, if you're watching cards, yeah, all over.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Sweet. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. We have a lot to take in, but I think we got some pretty good.
That was fun.
That was a good breakdown. I kind of.
Loved it.
We all learned a bit off each other. Yeah.
I think you did show.
Yeah.
We want to tell people where to go on and follow
Yes. How
Travis.
do we?
How do we follow
connect with
Trav?
you?
Don't give them your address to your house again.
Just again.
It's weird.
Again.
No, go on.
Well,
Tell
that's
tell
what
people where they
parties-
can find you.
That's
if
what
they want.
parties.
True.
Yeah, so if you want to follow me, I hang out on Twitter a lot, so at trader_Travis. I've got links to my Facebook group on there, that might be the easiest. Got a website, www.cryptomastermind.com, where I run a mastermind, which is basically just a fancy word where a whole bunch of people get together and we talk about the same thing and learn from each other.
Yep,
That's
nice.
basically it. And I have a Facebook group with the same name. It's been running for 5 years, almost 6 now. It's free. It always has been free. Always will be.
I think I've been in it for about 3.
3 years.
3
and
years
then we've only just met now.
Yeah, no.
It's like,
Even
I got
myself-
away with it for 3 years, pretty much.
Anyway,
Here we are.
yes, join. Do join. Get amongst the conversation.
Yeah, it's a really good group, mate. Like, I was one of the OG groups I joined back in the day, like 2017, 2018, so it's good. Not that you haven't said it yet, but I'll plug it for you. Travis does have his own sort of courses as well, so if you're looking for further education, really good resource too. So just check it out if it's right for you as well. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Is that us for today?
Thanks, the rap boys.
That was great.
Three amigos.
New format, worked out well. I felt
we
it.
should do it again.
Yeah,
Well,
I think so.
Let's do it again. Invite me back.
Let's do it
Locked
again.
in.
Hopefully we're not talking about a situation like FTX the next time.
Why not? That's more fun.
Arguably.
Too soon.
Too soon?
Too soon, too new.
Fun slash.
Engaging.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
With
So definitely
C.
gets the eyes.
Yeah.
Definitely gets the eyes. Let's talk about something.
Gina will have immediate feedback for us after this. So
Yeah, let's probably stop talking. We're probably running out of time.
See you guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. See ya. That was epic.